Happy holidays, everyone. As adults, the thrill of opening presents likely isn't as great as it was when we were kids. But there's one gift that keeps on giving: the memories of our favorite holiday gifts and traditions. In honor of these special memories, we are asking our Engineers Nova Scotia Council and staff to share their most memorable science, technology, engineering, and math memory. I'll start us off. One of my favorite traditions is the Christmas tree. My favorite engineering-related holiday memories are the parade of Christmas tree stands I've made with family and friends. The new Christmas tree stands just aren't the same as the one that I remember from my childhood. That was heavy steel, painted cherry red, never leaked, and always held the tree up safely. The annual Christmas tree stand build is a great engineering challenge. The tree is usually already in the yard. The spot is chosen in the living room, and the tree needs constant water, so we have some physical and time constraints to work with. There's the obvious safety component of keeping the tree upright, which can vary depending on factors such as pets, children, and tree ornaments. And there are materials constraints. Because of the quick timeline, we usually have to work with what's on hand, and there are so many excited stakeholders to please. From buckets full of bricks and gravel to various configurations of wooden legs around a central water vessel, and sometimes including guiding lines leading to the ceiling or walls, there have been so many memorable iterations of tree stands in my home. If your Christmas tree stand doesn't meet your approval, maybe it's time for you and your loved ones to join me in this engineering holiday tradition.
One of my favorite STEM toys when I was a little girl was a Barbie truck. Little did I know when I'd graduate engineering that one of the first jobs I'd have would be working with auto manufacturers, developing technologies for hybrid vehicles. Happy holidays.
My earliest recollection of a science, technology, engineering, and math related gift at Christmas would have been when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I received a set of books called The Way Things Work. Really sparked an interest in me in science and technology. And then I think the next gift I remember getting was a chemistry set, maybe a year later. And that really solidified things and led me into engineering as a profession, and science and technology. So happy holidays, everybody. Stay safe.
I had four siblings, so Christmas at our house was always a bit crazy. Knowing that my Christmas list would at most get 20% of the focus in our house, I decided that the best way to be heard and considered was to present a clear, concise plan. So every year, when it was my turn with the Sears Wish Book, I set up camp at the desktop computer, opened up Microsoft Excel, and got to work. Leaving no pages unturned, I methodically went through every detail of every item in the wish book and entered my most wished for items into my spreadsheet. After triple checking my work, I printed a hard copy and presented it to my clients, often months in advance of the project deadline. Decades later, I'm still finding reasons to make spreadsheets at work and at home.
One of the presents I've always loved receiving as a child was Lego. I mean, who doesn't like receiving Lego? Especially the space and astronaut Lego. And the old school Lego was really pretty basic, down to earth stuff, not as advanced as the stuff we get today. Really dreaming in space and about being an astronaut for me was always a great escape. And it's really cool today to be able to have seen astronauts past and present like Mark Garneau, who's an engineer and also a member of Engineers Nova Scotia, seeing the travels they've done, the accomplishments that they've had, and being able to share that with my kids today. And when we go to my parents' place, that Lego that I got as a child is still there, and my children still love playing with that Lego today. So it's a really great memory for me of Christmases past, and now my son receives Lego every Christmas as well, and he still loves it. So it's a great memory for me.
Hi, this is Alana McClellan Bennell, your counselor for HRM area. Wishing you all a healthy and safe holiday and a bright and prosperous and happy 2021.
A fun Christmas memory I have is when I got my very first memory stick. It cost about $120. My parents had no idea what it was, and it was a whopping 16 megabytes. I was just really happy to stop burning CDs.
Growing up on a potato farm in rural New Brunswick, Christmas was an event in a family with 13 siblings. As a large family of humble means, the holidays became more about celebrating generations of tradition as opposed to gift giving. My neighbor, though, he had some really great gifts. One year, he received a handheld Pacman game, and I was beyond fascinated. Here was this little box full of lights and sounds, and by pressing buttons, you could make the characters move on screen. It really created a bit of an obsession for me, that you could combine the creative and the technical mind to design interfaces that today are used in everything from cell phones, farm and industrial equipment control panels, as well as the self-checkout machines at the grocery store. As a young girl, I didn't see the potential of this discovery, but today, the possibilities are endless.
When I think back to my favorite STEM toy, it was probably in 1971. We were new immigrants to Canada, and there wasn't a lot of money for Christmas presents. So when I woke up on Christmas morning, waiting for me was a little bag of green army men. One of those army men didn't have what everyone else had, didn't have a rifle, but had a long stick with a circle in it. And I eventually found out that it was a mine detector, and the soldier carrying that mine detector was called a combat engineer. Well, that sparked an interest in military history and eventually led to pursuit of a civil engineering degree so I could carry out the tasks of a combat engineer: bridging, demolitions, earthworks, and expedient construction. It eventually led to a 32-year as a Royal Canadian Engineer, where I lived the mission of the engineers, which is to help friendly troops to live, move, and fight on the battlefield while denying the same to the enemy. I still keep a little green army man on my desk as a reminder of what sparked my passion in engineering.